Hey everybody. I wanted to do sort of like a preliminary DIY tabletop build and just to double check because I realized that the measurements can be a little confusing on how to make your table. So I have this cardboard that is actually it's a Cheez-It box I stole, and I took the image with the measurements and I drew all the measurements out on my cardboard and I cut it out as best I could. So this is my template to cut wood for the tabletop. But I wanted to kind of run a test just to make sure before I cut my wood, I don't want to have to cut wood more than once. So I got a file folder and I put my template on top of the file folder and I traced around my template and I made a cutout. So this is my pretend tabletop. So if that makes sense what I did. So this is the back of the machine, the wheel goes here, and that's the needle end. So I traced my cardboard cutout that I made from the dimensions of the image that shows the dimensions for the cutout, and I measured everything. And I traced it around on this file folder and I cut that out. And now I'm going to do a test fit. So here I have this is my Singer. It's sitting very carefully upside down on a box of my favorite cheap wine. So I'm going to take this cutout and I'm going to put it on top of the machine. And we're going to look and see how it fits. So I want to make sure that this is right before I cut my wood, because I only want to cut one piece of wood. So let me bring y'all in here and let's see. So it looks pretty good. This is where the hinge goes on the back. This is where the hinge goes on the back. This might be a little off center, but the hole is big enough to fit that. And this also may be a little off center, but the hole is still big enough to fit because the thing sticks out. But this thing, the holes, if they're 1/4 inch away from the straight edge, they do not show. And that's the back of the machine anyway. So no one's going to look at that, really. So I'm just looking, how does this fit? This is the side with the hand wheel that goes here. And I don't know if you can see this, but it is literally just balancing upside down on it's a box of cheap wine that I happen to have stored in the basement so it stays cool. So I'm just looking around to see if it fits. And looks like it may be a little big this direction. So when I draw my line with my pen, I'll just cut on the inside of my line. That way my hole doesn't get larger. When you're cutting things with the jigsaw, you know, you have to be mindful that the saw blade takes up a little space. So you kind of have to be mindful whether you're cutting on the line or on one side or the other of the line, because the saw blade definitely takes up like at least a 1/16 of an inch. But overall, I would say that's a pretty good fit, and I'm happy with that. So I'm going to take my cardboard template and I'm going to draw my outline on my wood, and I'm going to cut inside of my line. So I just wanted to make this video with you just to show you how to do a test, and so you know that you have the right measurements on your machine. And you know, it's easy enough to cut a piece of cardboard with scissors, and it's definitely better than to mess up your wood. And if you know, I'm doing this in our basement on a carpeted surface, just in case, to be very careful that the machine doesn't tip over or fall. And I've also, according to Karen's instructions, you know, before moving the machine, I have removed the needle bar. So hopefully that helps you all get your tabletops going. Okay, thanks for watching. Hey, okay, so test fitting part 2. I am back here now with my Mauser International chain stitch machine, and I'm gonna test fit my template on this machine. So I put it over and I'm gonna test and see how it sits. I have the Mauser machine's a little more fancy, so I have it a little more carefully balanced on some wood, and my box of wine here is now on the front side to make sure I hold it up, because the Mauser machine has some fancy bits and bobs on the top. So I'm going to take a look at my cardboard and see how it fits on the Mauser, so I can see that it fits there. I put a mark here. I wasn't really satisfied that this is a little off, so I put a new centerline mark, and I'm just going to move this little nubbin over a little bit. This cutout here in the pattern is where you insert your drill bit to be able to get your jigsaw started. So it's not really important exactly where it is, but there is also, you know, a bump out in the machine that you want to take advantage of. So that, and that's explained in the full length DIY video. So going on around and looking, it looks good. This dimension here, it is a little bigger because it also will fit the Singer. So I have an extra like 1/8 of an inch over here that is going to be open, but it doesn't matter because that's where the belt goes. Going on around, catching the corner there. This is the bump out for the hinge and the Mauser. And the same thing here. I'm kind of maybe going to move this hole over just a hair, just so it's in line with the bump. This was a problem that I had on the Singer as well. And I actually put this new green centerline mark on the cardboard with the Singer, so I could then double check that it matches the Mauser. And in fact, it does. So I'm going to just move that little bump over a hair. I'm not sure how that happened. Hinge bump going around to the front. So the my test cardboard template does in fact fit the Mauser. Just going to move this over just a hair, but honestly is not even important because that doesn't show because the edge of the machine rests on top of the table. But just wanted to double check that this cardboard cutout is going to fit the Singer and the Mauser, and in fact it does. So the next step is to take my cardboard cutout, maybe move that little, move this little nubbin over just a hair, and then I'm going to trace around it and cut on the inside of my line to make another tabletop. Simple, easy, should be fast. If y'all have questions, just, you know, post a comment or join the Facebook group and ask in the Facebook group. Okay, thanks again for watching. Okay, so I've now made a little adjustment for where my nubbin was. I had my green line that I marked when I was test fitting this on the machine, and basically on my cardboard cutout I just cut out my semicircle that was sticking up, and I brought the crosshair from the green new mark over, and I just made a little cutout here. And when I trace now when I trace around the outside, I'll just do this bump, and then right there, that's where I know I'm going to start my drill bit. So it was actually good for me to do this exercise of cardboard and template and test fitting, because now I made a little minor adjustment, and hopefully the cutout will go smoothly today. Okay,